WWE superstar CM Punk reportedly is not that far from an in-ring return from the injury that kept him out of WrestleMania. We have the ratings for Saturday's edition of AEW Collision as well as AEW Rampage on TBS. Jey Uso says that timing issues were partially to blame for the poorly received match between he and his twin brother Jimmy Uso at WrestleMania 40. The reason for untelevised matches in the King and Queen of the Ring tournament has been revealed, and an assessment of former TKO executive chairman Vince McMahon's latest legal maneuver in his lawsuit filed against him. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's start off talking about CM Punk and some positive news if you're a fan of the former WWE and AEW World Champion, because having suffered an injury at the Royal Rumble in January 2024, updated details for CM Punk's return timetable have now emerged. In the wake of the injury, Punk confirmed that he had a torn triceps and wouldn't be able to compete at WrestleMania 40 in April of this year. Since then, CM Punk and Drew McIntyre have been locked in a war of words that has occasionally turned physical, including at WrestleMania 40, which saw McIntyre win and then lose the World Heavyweight Championship. Dave Meltzer has discussed the latest word regarding Punk's return to in-ring competition on Wrestling Observer Radio, saying, quote, "Punk's not that far from being back most likely. If he had his surgery at the end of January, you're looking at the end of July, August, maybe September. It's not that far away anymore. He might make SummerSlam, and if he can make SummerSlam, Punk and Drew for the title, that makes a lot of sense. Even if he can't, you can do it a month after. Punk will be back fairly soon. It's not as far away as sometimes you think because of that surgery." Now, SummerSlam takes place in Cleveland, Ohio on August 3rd, 2024, with the following PLE being the Germany-based WWE Bash in Berlin on August 31st. Prior to SummerSlam, WWE as King and Queen of the Ring in Saudi Arabia on May 25, Clash at the Castle in Scotland on June 15, and Money in the Bank in Toronto, Ontario, Canada on July 6. Now, Punk, as I mentioned, has been feuding with Drew McIntyre since WrestleMania, or really since McIntyre injured him with a Future Shock DDT at the Royal Rumble, which caused Punk to tear his tricep. We get any more details on Punk's status, we'll let you know in a future video. Now, the ratings are in for this week's episode of AEW Collision as well as AEW Rampage. Not on TNT this week, but on TBS. And again, it's not great news when it comes to AEW's Saturday night offering. Beginning with Collision on TBS. AEW Collision drew 378,000 total viewers and also pulled in a 0.12 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic. Now, in terms of some competition notes, AEW Collision ranked number 14 in the 18 to 49 among cable originals on Saturday. The NHL playoff games on TNT led the night. The late game, starting at 10 p.m, Stars vs Avalanche was number one with 1.331 million viewers and a 0.50 18 to 49 rating. The early game, beginning at 7:09 p.m, Rangers vs Hurricanes averaged 1.542 million viewers and a 0.48 in the 18 to 49. UFC Fight Night on ESPN averaged 903,000 viewers and a 0.32 18 to 49 rating. In terms of the comparison from last week's episode, of course, last week's episode was preempted as well. It had that strong lead-in from the NBA playoffs. It is down 39% in terms of total viewership. It's also down 19% with the trailing 4-week average. As far as the 18 to 49 demographic is concerned, it's also down 43% from last week's 0.21 that was brought in, as I mentioned, with the preempted Collision with that strong NBA lead-in. As far as AEW Rampage, we also have the ratings for AEW Rampage on TBS as well. AEW Rampage, of course, again, a preempted airing outside of its usual time slot and on a different network. It actually brought in 324,000 total viewers and pulled in a 0.11 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic. Now, again, in terms of the comparisons from last week, it's down still significantly, 25% from last week's 431,000 total viewers. Also, when it comes to the 18 to 49 demographic, it is down 27% from last week's 0.15 rating as well. Now, let's talk about the match between Jimmy and Jey Uso at WrestleMania 40, which led to some fans saying they were disappointed when it came to the match quality and the overall, again, spectacle of the bouts. Now, among the stacked two-night card for WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia on April 6 and 7, the third ever brother versus brother bout took place as longest reigning WWE Tag Team Champions Jey and Jimmy Uso faced off one-on-one for the first time. Now, the match was highly anticipated by fans with a lengthy build that began back at SummerSlam last year when Jimmy turned on Jey by costing him the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Unfortunately, however, in the opinion of many, the match failed to deliver on the hype built beforehand. Jey recently spoke with Mail Sports' Alex McCarthy and revealed that he felt that the match let people down, citing timing issues as the reason he and Jimmy didn't deliver on the night. He said, quote, "To be honest, it was still a dream match, just me and my brother. I kind of felt like I kind of let the people down though. It was all due to timing issues, so our match was fairly quick. Sometimes you've just got to roll with it. It is what it is. I just tried to look at the positive part. We checked that box off, me and Jimmy for sure. Man, that's the only thing. I wish we could have had a straight up wrestling banger. Sometimes matches run heavy, especially those big shows like that. You've just got to roll with the punches. There's no heat. You can't get hot at the other matches. Everyone's trying to go out there and do their thing, and it was all love at the end. I'm just glad we got that shot with me and my brother in there in a WrestleMania environment." Now, post WrestleMania 40, of course, Jey has continued his ascent up the Monday Night Raw ranks as a solo performer, challenging Damian Priest for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at Backlash 2024 in France. Now, despite falling short in those attempts, Jey has since bounced back by advancing to the semi-finals of the King of the Ring tournament, defeating Ilya Dragunov on Raw to book a match with Gunther next week in the semi-finals of the King of the Ring tournament. Now, speaking of the King of the Ring tournament, some have questioned the rationale and the reason for why there have been untelevised matches in both the King and Queen of the Ring tourneys. Now, the real reason for the WWE King and Queen of the Ring matches being untelevised has now been revealed. On last night's Raw, we saw 4 quarterfinal matches take place in both the King and Queen of the Ring tournaments. Interestingly, however, of the 4 bouts that took place on Raw, 2 of the 8 competitors advanced to that quarterfinal stage via untelevised matches at a live event in Macon, Georgia on Sunday night, that being Kofi Kingston and Shayna Baszler. This was also the case on SmackDown in their bracket, with LA Knight and Tiffany Stratton both advancing during a live event from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Although fans may have seen footage of the untelevised bout shared online, many have questioned why WWE took this approach to the tournament. Thankfully, courtesy of a new report from Fightful Select, we may now have our answer. According to Fightful, WWE staged 4 of the first round King and Queen of the Ring bouts away from WWE cameras for 2 reasons: to avoid an overkill of tournament matches on television, and secondly, to help draw fans to their live events that the match featured on. The King of the Ring tournament continues on Friday's episode of SmackDown as Randy Orton takes on Carmelo Hayes and LA Knight faces the Bloodline's Tama Tonga. The Queen of the Ring will also stage 2 quarterfinal bouts as Jade Cargill faces Nia Jax and Bianca Belair takes on Tiffany Stratton. And finally, a bit of an update when it comes to Vince McMahon and the latest developments in his lawsuit filed against him by former WWE employee Janelle Grant. Janelle Grant's lawsuit against Vince McMahon, accusing the former WWE chairman of sex trafficking and abuse, has continued to move forward and has recently seen a lot of action from McMahon's legal team. McMahon filed a motion back in late April asking for the suit to be moved to arbitration, and earlier this week filed another motion where he stated Grant's claims towards him were meritless and the height of hypocrisy, while further giving details regarding his side of the story. On Tuesday morning's Wrestling Observer Radio, Brian Alvarez and Dave Meltzer discussed McMahon's legal strategy. Alvarez theorized that McMahon's goal was to have the suit moved to arbitration, where it could be resolved quickly and quietly, with the case's details being kept from the general public, while at the same time airing his side of the story out in the open in order to improve his public standing. Meltzer seconded the theory and stated the strategy was an attempt by McMahon's team to rehabilitate him, as McMahon is looking towards resuming his career in business once the lawsuit is over, with a venture Meltzer claimed has nothing to do with wrestling. As such, McMahon is looking to paint Grant out to be, quote, this crazy lying woman, end quote, with whom he showed bad judgment towards by having an affair with her, while also saying Grant's claims are untrue and her text messages exchanges with McMahon were taken out of context. It's a strategy McMahon is apparently willing to spare no expense on, as Meltzer noted that McMahon was looking to hire the best lawyers that money can buy in New York. Of course, we get any more details on that lawsuit, all the developments, we'll let you know in the future. But there you go, guys. This is latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon. Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.